Hello, Elaine here. I am here for the week of the 23rd of September to the 29th. Um, so before we get into that, I will say hello and then I hope everyone had a good week. And please like, share, subscribe. For this reading, we'll first do an overview of the energy of the week, and a lot of cards popped out, so I went ahead and took them, and then we'll break it down from cardinal signs, mutable to fixed signs. You can check your sun. Um, I don't usually say moon, but moon is on the tip of my tongue. So check your moon sign if you feel inclined, and then your rising sign. Or just check them all out and see if anything resonates. As always, use your own discernment. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump into this week. So, um, we're now in Libra season. I definitely, and we're going to have a solar eclipse on October 2nd. So I feel like we're kind of in like a middle transition area right now. And there's a lot like when I was shuffling the cards, these three cards immediately fell out, and I don't always take them, but it felt right. And then I shuffled again and was like, is there anything else that needs to come out? And then these two cards came out. Sorry, dog barking. All right. So let's get into number 19, delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. So when I immediately pulled this card, I just kept thinking there was something that I kept that came up for myself recently, and what it made me think of was it's like sharing knowledge, um, having like your light inside of you, expressing that in a way that lights another person up. And I think it's the same way with joy where or happiness. It's like if you are in that state of joy and happiness, you attract more. If you're in that state of down in the dumps, everything's going to go wrong for me, then you attract that more. And that's what I felt with this card. And it definitely feels like um, I've also been thinking about it a lot. It's like, because I was actually thinking about this last night, is where I think at the end of the month, I'm just going to reflect on everything that good that happened in the month, um, and focus on that and be happy for that and invite more of that into my life. And so this is what this card is making me feel is like definitely doing more of what makes you happy and what lights you up versus getting stuck in the I mean it's going to happen. There will be those negative days that you just feel down in the dumps and you have to move through that motion, but always try to bring in that positive as well. So that was something that came up. 444 protection. Um, I also feel like there's a lot of cards here, and so there's a lot of energies and a lot of things happening. We're transitioning from summer to fall. It was the equinox this past weekend, or if you're in another hemisphere, we're in a transition um, as well, either fall to spring if you are in the lower hemisphere. And this just feels like where all the work you've been putting in is adding up, and it is creating that foundation. And I think a lot of us feel more stable uh, you feel stable when you have a stronger foundation, and you also feel you have that clarity when things are going smoothly. And um, And I think that's also pulling into this the light, because what just popped into my mind is scarcity mindset, and like having that these feelings of fear and whatnot kind of make you small, and it doesn't let you expand. But if you are moving through and you feel protected and you feel confident, then it allows you to expand and move forward. And then reshape. This is kind of, so these cards go together. So reshape is kind of like rethinking, reflecting. So it's 525 and 666. And these aren't negative cards, so to speak, but I think it's asking us and putting an exclamation point on it to focus on these good things, not necessarily to be like, oh, this went wrong. This is sorry. The dogs today are a little grumpy. Um, they, this went wrong, but to focus on what is going right, what is, and kind of releasing these, and being able to move past these and more focus on these, because these are what are going to bring in for you, that are actually going to work more for you versus being stuck in that negative. And then change. So it has butterfly on there, 555. I don't know. Archangel Michael just popped into my mind too. And I just feel like just knowing that whatever is happening in your life is, it doesn't always feel for your better, but it will, once that storm has passed, things get clear and you find that clarity and you feel that refresh, and that, it's a new day and it's okay to start anew, or rebuild, or whatever you're going through. And then 717, bravery. I also feel like this is a confirmation that whatever you're going through, just stay strong, continue to go with it. If you're following your intuition, you're listening to yourself, you're getting those little nudges, and they don't always feel comfortable, but you're moving through them. Because I'm also thinking of, like, there's sometimes where you get those nudges that feel counterintuitive, but it's like, um, you know, it does work out. Um, so just follow yourself, and um, even if it's a little scary. And then the King of Pentacles. I don't always pull a tarot card, but it felt right this time, and nothing randomly fell out of the deck. This one I did pull for this, and I honestly, with um, I just feel like, we move through all of these things, and we just have to trust in ourselves, in our strength, in what we are doing, in the foundations that we built, in that security that we have within and without, meaning internally or externally, and just knowing that we are supported, and that what we've moved through is for our betterment. And I just feel like this was just like icing on the cake, to so to speak, to just say, like, yeah, that's what's happening. I got a lot of cards here, so we'll see how we're gonna make all of this fit in this. Okay, so now we're going to move to Cardinal Signs. And Cardinal Signs got guidance, take charge and action. Um, and I'm feeling this in my solar plexus and throat. So I don't know if there's something that you have to do or speak upon, or use your willpower to move forward on something, which most of us do need to do. Um, we also have the three of wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I'm feeling like these energies are kind of with the reflection and the reshape. But before I get into that, I will put down the rest of the cards. And then we have the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So there is a lot of wands and one pentacle, but I'm also going to associate that with the King of Pentacles. So there's definitely, I don't know if there has been a passion that people are thinking about, because or like a thought that hasn't come to fruition yet, and this week everything will kind of spark, and you'll know the direction that you're taking. That's kind of the feeling that I have. It might also be because I'm thinking about this delight card. I definitely feel like maybe it's a hobby or something, something that you've been waiting on, something that you maybe even have been contemplating, thinking that, okay, this is going to work out. I've been planting my seeds and just waiting. I definitely think that a foundation has been made with the King of Wands, and like it hasn't maybe come to full fruition of what you want, but you will get clarity and that spark of let's go. Um, that's kind of how I'm feeling for these cards. Let me see if they're, and these, they're, because I'm trying to see, because it's like working through, reflecting and planting those seeds, and then allowing the change to happen, and these foundations, especially with the two kings, and the bravery, I think is, and also this delight. I think this delight kind of plays through all of these cards, where it's kind of like allowing and being happy and moving through. So definitely sparking with that. Okay, so that looks, let me just make sure I don't feel anything else for our cardinal signs. No, I think that's everything. So I'm going to go ahead and collect these, and then we'll move on to our mutable signs. All right, mutable signs. So then we have vulnerability and freedom. Sorry. Eight of Cups, the Star, Six of Cups. Six of Swords, and our Ace of Swords. Okay. So immediately when I was putting down these cards, I just thought, leaving something is not always easy, and you do feel a vulnerability about this. And then we have the Six of Swords here of being guided to something new. That's immediately what I saw in these cards, and it is, vulnerability and freedom. There is also the Star card in the middle, and this is for mutable signs. So there is a hope, I'm also going to say a renewal, and energy being exchanged here. And I usually don't read the Star card like that, but that's how I'm feeling with this card. And then some clarity, and the ability to maybe even see things a little differently. And that's making me think of the reshape and the reflect, and allowing that change to come in. And maybe even the bravery, being like you have the clarity, you have the mindset now, you reflect it, you've thought it through, and now it's time. It's okay. And that's kind of what I'm picking up on these cards. And The delight also is making me think with the star card, that whatever this energy exchanges or this hope, or because they're kind of the same color too, um, and just bringing that in and knowing, trusting that you are going in the right direction, and it's not easy to um, it's not always easy to make changes in your life, or because we are used to things. We're creatures of habit, and we like things certain ways, and so when things start to change, it feels uncomfortable. We get scared. Our foundations are shifting, and I think that's why this king is here, is to remind us that we do have strong foundations, but sometimes things need to shift. And I'm also thinking of when you refurbish something, or not necessarily refurbish, but remodel, update, it is needed, so that, I don't know, that's kind of random that popped up, but that's what popped up. Okay, so we're going ahead and pick these cards up for mutable signs. Thank you. All right, and then we'll go ahead and move to our fixed signs. So we have honesty and communication. And as soon as I saw this card, I immediately felt like it's also an honesty and communication with self. And I'm feeling also like self love, self, trusting yourself. And there's like a little spiral flowery thing, and it kind of looks like a book to me. Um, we'll see where I go with that, but let me put all the rest of the cards down because that popped up. The wheel, the chariot, eight of swords, and the lovers. So it's interesting because the other two previous, for cardinals and mutable signs, we had two aces. We don't have an ace here, but we have almost all major arcana. Okay, so let's get into this. The wheel is making me feel like I almost want to say like a book is closed with this, and something new is starting. And the wheel can be completions are coming to mind, but that's not what I wanted to say. These cycles that we get onto, and change, and I feel like good fortune coming in, especially with the chariot. The chariot can also be, it's usually everyone wants to say like fast movement, but discipline is coming in, and I feel like, oh, that's weird. I usually don't read that card like that too, but it's kind of going with this book idea that I see in this card, and the honesty and communication and moving forward. And I also feel like maybe we all get into our own heads, and we um, don't trust ourselves, and that's what this eight of swords is coming up. And I definitely feel like we need to find that balance, and allow this with the lovers, the duality and the balance of the two, and actually feel our foundations on these. And that's why I picked up the King of Pentacles, is knowing that we have done all of this. We have done the work. We have moved forward and allowed change. And so I actually feel like, I don't know why this week, it doesn't feel like a very pivotal week, but there's a lot of energy. And I definitely think maybe this week we will feel something of a change and like a set and putting the right foot forward is what's coming to mind too. And so maybe that's that movement of the chariot and feeling like, okay, I've thought about it. I've thought about what I need to do, what I need to fix. I made the changes. I've been through it. I've been thinking about it. Now it's time for me to be honest with myself and communicate and kind of free myself from these thoughts and move forward and close that book, begin a new cycle, start moving forward, and live that balanced life. So, yeah. And if there's something you see in these cards, you know, discern it and fill into it and you know what is best for you. We often try to pretend like we don't or we're a little stuck. But it's like if you actually sit and go within and be honest with yourself, you will know where to move and shift. And that's something that came up too. I'm just going to take a second to look at the cards, make sure I got everything. Let's see if there's anything else. I definitely feel like it's interesting. There might be a little bit of emotion and expression that needs to go through this week as well. Um, but that's the final thing that I got. All right, perfect. So that is it. Thank you. And I will post these on uh, Instagram as well. All right. So thank you. Have a good week. I will see you. Well, you guys won't see me, but I will post again next week. And thanks. Have a good week.